Are you following me? And he is focusing always on the gold. And a lot of times, sometimes you don't get all you don't get all of the metals that degrade and devalue the gold just off the initial heat. Sometimes the refiner fire has to be turned up to melt it off even more. And so he turns up the fire. What God constantly does in your life is you go from season and he turns up the difficulty. He turns up the challenges. I said this yesterday, I'll say it again. It's amazing to me how much we ask God for things he does not have. God, give me patience. He does not give you patience. He develops patience. God, give me boldness. He does not give you boldness. He develops boldness. And he turns up the fire. That's how he develops. He keeps turning up the fire in your life. And all of a sudden, what happens is they start throwing it to the side. And you don't need this. This isn't a part of you. And he starts taking all these impurities out. And the refiner knows when he's done is he can see his reflection in the gold. God is not done just because camp is over. He is not done until he sees a perfect reflection of his son Jesus in your life. That is how you know you're in the middle of the fire. You have to know that fire will transform you. And what didn't fall off of you here, don't you dare be discouraged. Well, I'm still struggling with that. Welcome to the fire, baby. We just got it started for you. Now, I have watched people say, well, I've been struggling this for years, and I'm in the fire. Are you really? You know, it's amazing to me how Jesus said, you know, once I put one of these little ones in my hand, no one can snatch them out of my hand. But it did not say we could not remove ourselves from his hand. And I found that a lot of people, once the fire gets turned up to a certain heat, they're saying, I'm done, I'm out of this fire, and they walk out the fire. I have found that the people who have longevity and legacy are ones who know how to stay in the fire. God, even if this kills me, I know that you don't want it in me. Even if this takes away my career, even if this takes away my secret ambitions and my hidden motives, I don't want it because I know you want the best for me. Welcome to the fire. Fire will transform you. Let me tell you, I was at a conference and I was getting ready to speak and I was focusing on just what I was going to say when I got up to preach. And I walked over to the soap and I put my hand on the soap and soap automatically came out. And then I'm thinking a little bit more deeper into what I'm about to say. And I'm literally right before I'm getting on stage. And I'm not even paying attention. Soap automatically comes out. I go to the water and water automatically comes out. And I start washing my hands. And I'm continuing more of this conversation with the Holy Spirit. And I take my hands and I put it on the dryer. And as I'm waiting there, the dryer doesn't turn on. But I'm still thinking, man, this is what the Lord has for us. This is what he's saying. I'm kind of getting together. This is what preachers do sometimes. And I noticed that no air is coming out of this dryer, so I'm Hispanic, so I try to fix it. That's who we are. We're brown and proud. Y'all can respect that. And so I'm like trying to take it off the wall, put wires together. I put my hand in there to see if something was broken. I mean, my hands are soaking wet. I'm going to electrocute myself. And I'm sitting there going, what is wrong with this dryer? And then all of a sudden I noticed this big red button that says, push here. And the Holy Spirit spoke to me. He said, son, not everything's automatic. Salvation is free. Grace is free. The Holy Spirit is free. Obedience, that will cost you. Discipline, that will cost you. Faithfulness, that will cost you. Welcome to the fire. Here's the second thing. I'll close with this one. Okay, well, let me say this. Why am I so passionate about this? Why would I choose to preach on this? Because we're living in a day and age where the church is satisfied without power. The church is now satisfied without revelation. It's now just entertainment. We want presentation. We want it illustrated right. We want it streamed live on TV. We want the right color lights. Nothing wrong with those things. They have its place. But the problem with that is there's no demonstration of fire. It bothers me when people can preach a great message, but they can't cast out a $2 demon after the message. When we're talking about walking in the supernatural, this is not let's walk ourselves to church and have the supernatural. Let's walk ourselves into the mall. Let's walk ourselves in the neighborhoods. Let's walk ourselves into campuses. Let's walk ourselves into jobs. And let's have revival there. I never want to be satisfied. And I've noticed that when I have taken myself out of the fire, I lack power and I lack hunger. I do not want to be out of the fire. I want to be in the hottest part of it because I know I will never lack revelation and I will never lack power. Stay in the fire. No matter how hot it gets, no matter how frustrated you may be, no matter what it costs you, no matter how many friends, no matter how much money, no matter how much status, no matter how much they say that you're crazy and you're weird, stay in the fire. You will never lack what is important on this earth, and that's His presence. fire. The fire always needs to be kept burning. Go to Matthew 25. There's this parable of the 10 virgins. And when I say virgins, you have to understand that this parable is talking about the believers. There are 10 believers. He says there are 5 foolish believers and there are 5 wise believers. 5 foolish virgins and 5 wise virgins. I like this. Matthew 25, verse 1, talking about how the fire needs to be kept burning. Verse 1, it says, "At that time the kingdom of heaven will be like 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom." Verse 5, 5 of them were foolish and 5 were wise. The foolish ones took their lamps, but did not take any oil. The wise ones, however, took oil in jars along with their lamps. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. At midnight, the cry rang out, "Here's the bridegroom! Come to meet him!" Verse 7, "Then all the virgins awoke, trimmed their lamps. The foolish ones said to the wise, 'Give us some of your oil. Our lamps are going out.' 'No,' they replied, 'there may not be enough for both us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourself.'" Now, I've got a picture for this. I love to hunt. I'm Texan, America. When you're Texan, you're born with a gun. That's just how it is. I love to hunt. Listen, nothing against animals. I love animals. I love animals a lot. Right next to my potatoes. Okay, so you have to understand, I love hunting. Okay? And so I know I have this store called Cabela's, and I'm always on Cabela's side looking for a new rifle or a new gun or something else. Are there any hunters in the room? Maybe I'm the only one. Great, all 2 of us. And I remember getting a picture of this. This would be like when you go hunting, you have to have, especially because you're going hunting early in the morning and late at night, you have to have a lamp in order to see in the dark. And it's amazing to me. There's this difference between the 5 foolish virgins and the 5 wise virgins. See, the 5 foolish ones walk into Cabela's, this camping hunting store, and they go out and they say, "Well, how much is it for one of those lamps?" "Well, for that lamp, it only costs you this much." "Okay, that's all I want to pay. I want to pay for just that lamp." And they buy their lamp and they go. The 5 wise ones, though, they walk in and they go, "I need one of those lamps and all that this could buy me." And they empty out their checking account, and they sold their house, and they sold their cars, and everything that was of worth, they put it all out there, and they say, "I want one lamp and as much oil as this will buy me." They give up everything. See, the foolish ones hold back pieces of their life. They hold back decisions from the Lord. They hold back decisions from spiritual authority like parents and pastors and their leaders. And they don't understand that what they're literally doing is they are not buying any oil. They have prayed the prayer. They have their lamp, but they have no oil. And in the end, it says that the love of many will grow cold. Why is that? Because there's no oil in their lamp. See, the 5 wise ones, they walk in and they say, I want you to have everything. I want you to take it all. This all belongs to you. I don't want this. It's better in your hands than my hands. And I don't just want a lamp. I want oil. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't want my oil to run out. Because I've watched people buy just enough oil to get them to the next camp. And I watched them buy just enough oil to get them to the next service. And just enough oil to get them to the next place. But what I've never seen is somebody say, I will lay down everything. What would it be like if we had teenagers that tied their teenage years to God? Again, what would you look like in your 20s? What nations would you be shaking in your 30s? What structures and systems and processes